Because the party don't stop till 3. Meaning you're in the crib all over me. CIBTRIPPER, and we are CAMP to the moolah. We blow this bazooka. It's crazy, baby, how I'm on you like Slim to shit. So let me see your head bob, cause this party don't stop. Cause tonight, you better bring somebody to the club. To the club. Cause tonight, we calling everybody, so get up. Alright. This party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on and this party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on and on. Let me give your body a job, employ a new technique. Work it, rock it like a cradle in bed. I need a free. Wait a minute, let me clarify. The way you maneuver, I can't deny. So scream from the top of your lungs and maybe I'll pacify ya. Take over, my baby, it ain't over. No fat lady, navigate to the floor, make your way. Tell your leg, give me more A-OK. It ain't fair, the way you're shaking it and moving it, baby. Make them stare, step up in the building, everybody and go up. And it's it. You better bring somebody to the club. To the club. Cause tonight, we're calling everybody, so get up. Alright. This party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on. This party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on and on. So get your hands up. Get ready to party. On the dance floor, jamming till 6 in the morning. So get your drinks up. Don't spill on nobody. Hit the bar, get some girls, cause the bottles we poppin'. But I'm a little bit too bubbly, so all the ladies look lovely. But can't tell if they ugly, cause someone get these girls off of me. Meet me by the bar, baby girl, round 3 now. Let's go get some shots. Drink up, cause you know the party don't stop. Tonight, you better bring somebody to the club. To the club. Cause tonight, we're calling everybody, so get up. Alright. This party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on. This party don't stop.
One,
Don't stop.
doing.
Don't stop.
It has been fantastic, and welcome to another episode of the Pan African Bliss.
Stop. It goes on and on.
It's a beautiful Friday, and of course, I hope you're having a beautiful one. Literally this morning, Karibuni sana to another beautiful episode of the Pan African Bliss right here on the media of the 21st century. Shout out to everyone with us for the first time, returning listeners on Beachwood Rumble, to those who are with us on the YouTube channel, radio, and on Spreaker, Spotify, wherever you're catching this amazing voice from. And of course, Karibuni sana once again. My name is Joby, to those who are here for the first time, and welcome to the Pan African Bliss. Going to be talking about the 2027 Kenya revolution and not election. And of course, the conversation, I'd say it's backed by the actions we see in Kenya actually putting in. Yesterday, we shared an amazing music video, or a video that Iran released that is mocking Trump, and of course, him being an LOSER, a loser. And I think Kenyans are also coming up with their own theme. This is not even AI generated. The Kenyans are doing it themselves. Like, I'm going to start with that amazing video of a lady actually singing about if she were Ruto, or giving an advice to these politicians if they were actually one term, because Ruto, we know the chant since the 2024 demonstration, reject finance bill, it has always been a one-term chant, whereby this means that he's not going to be coming back for the second term, because most of the presidents of Kenya have ruled for actually 2 terms, apart from literally Moi, Moi ruled for 4 terms. That was literally 20 plus years, 24 years to be specific. And then Kibaki took over, Uhuru Kenyatta took over. Now we have Ruto, and he's looking forward to be running for another second term. But Kenyans are saying no, because if you look at the economic crisis, how things have changed, and also the selling of public state owned companies, it's actually super crazy. And apart from that, he has not actually eased the lives of Kenyans. He came in as a campaigner talking about he cares about the hustlers, because most of the people in Africa, not just Kenya, they're hustlers. And when you talk about hustlers, is the people who are living on a hand to mouth situation. So he said he understands and understood the situation and the condition of people living on a hand to mouth situation, and is going to ensure that all that is changed. But he didn't do any of that. So you're going to be looking onto how actually the 2027 Kenya revolution is going to be happening, because I believe it's so much active. Today we woke up to some serious tensions in the country, not actually in the country, but in some specific areas there were crazy tensions because of Ruto had set his police officers on some certain space where the other opposition leader was supposed to be coming to talk. And I'd say this is actually the most popular opposition leader. I'd say right now, the fact that we've been questioning the fact that we want Ruto out, who are we going to put in power? I feel like actually Kenyans, we know who we're going to put in power. We have someone who has been fighting for the lives of Kenyans, and he's been actually under the I'd say the previous, I don't want to call it the previous because it's been dissolved. I'd call it, actually, I'm allowed to call it the previous because it's been dissolved. The previous opposition, and that is the ODM party, which was led by Raila Odinga. And since Raila Odinga died, the ODM party actually has completely collapsed. Most of the people, or majority of the people who are under Raila Odinga, have been bought out by Ruto. And only a few people who have stood alone, and they're saying that we're not going to do this because, number one, understanding Raila's theme, which didn't work for majority of the Kenyans, was standing up with the Kenyans. But the guy that actually is now taking over the ODM party, and who is supposed to take the ODM party literally legally, is standing up for the Kenyans. And this is why we saw 3 weeks ago or a month ago, where I talked about the Kitengela situation, where we had some Kenyans being tear gassed. A number of people till to date were not being told how many people lost their lives because of that peaceful gathering, which an opposition leader was just coming to talk and have a talk with the people because of what changes we're supposed to be facing or having as Kenyans. And since then, it's just been super chaotic. So today we woke up to tensions literally of this current aspiring ODM leader. They were supposed to be going to it's called Ufungamano building, where literally they were supposed to be holding their meeting, but the police officers were already set there by Ruto today in the morning. But the amazing, embracing grace of this video, or joy of this video, is actually where we can see the Kenyans stormed in there and they told the police officers, dare shoot on us. Dare shoot on us. That's what they said. So I'm going to be sharing that. And of course, I'm very excited to report about that. But apart from that, we're going to be looking at also what is happening in Zimbabwe. As we can see, Kenya, literally, that was last week. They said that they're not going to be sending Kenyans to Russia. This was a discussion held by the Kenyan and Russian government, withdrawing all these literally applications from the Kenyans who are actually aspiring to be fighting on the Russia-Ukraine ongoing war. But we have Zimbabwe, which is actually looking forward to be sending 15 of their nationals there. We're going to look at that. We have Bill Gates Foundation, which is set to launch the 8-year contraceptive in Kenya. A lot is happening in this country, and that's why we want Ruto to go, literally. And apart from that, still under Bill Gates, there is actually some new links and information that was released actually on 16th of March. And I don't know how I missed this, but literally where they're talking about Bill Gates having released bioengineered ticks that infect people with violent meat allergy. We're gonna be looking at that as well. We also have literally Trump's wife, who is also talking about us embracing AI and how we should actually imagine having robots as teachers. I want us to highlight a little bit on that, and then so much more coming also from other parts of Africa. We're going to look a little bit of history of how we have one of this guy called High Priest Robbie. I don't know how many of you know about him. I tried to look about his page on YouTube, but I can't see so much about him. I think he has been taken down because of sharing such kind of histories or stories I'm about to share as we continue with today's conversation. And also looking at Ghana wanting to recognize slave trade as one of the crimes against humanity. I think Ghana is one of the countries that has been pushing this, but also yesterday we had the UN, the United Nations, where we had, I think, I'm gonna confirm that in a bit. I think I queued that somewhere on my my phone. We have about so many countries. I think only few that rejected to recognize this as a crime, and majority voted actually upon this particular case. And something I mentioned also yesterday, where we have the Mobile Research Lab track of Israel, which arrived in Kenya to collect data for solution and farming and also climate change. So tune in, and of course, Karibuni Sana. But before you get into that, a quick reminder to get yourself the organic supplements we have under our Black Hot Fire Network application, easily for you to find on the Google Play Store. Better if you have an Amazon Roku TV, also you can tune in, listen to us via the radio segment, or rather on the TV segment. You can catch the ongoing shows live, or rather the previous conversations as well. But apart from that, we also have an Apparel store, so you can only actually easily access this with your phone. Apple Android users, to the Apple users, is actually www.blackofirenetwork.com. That is our website link. And then to the Android users, we are on the Google Play Store. We have amazing organic supplements on the like of multivitamin, ashwagandha, beetroot, sea moss, and so much more. But for now, beetroot does the work.
Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
It's at a very affordable price. And of course, as we get started, like I said, we're going to start with this amazing video of this lady here singing about these puppets in general, not just about Ruto. And I kind of loved it. The same, I'd say I enjoyed this one personally as a Kenyan. I'm going to put that as much as we're Africans, you know, I'm going to emphasize a little bit on that as a Kenyan, because I kind of feel I don't know if I do understand it's something to do with Black people, how we find humor, or in even serious cases. That's something that literally tends to, I'd say, amaze me or make me happy in some different sort of way. How Black people generally, not so many, trust me, there are people who don't understand humor. There are Black people who don't understand humor at all. They're just people who have taken life so serious, like, you know, because you're under poverty and all that, and you've projected this in your mind that you don't deserve peace, happiness, to be smiling. You're just supposed to be serious with life. I think, especially the older generation of men, and this is something we keep on discussing about, men have been raised, especially in Africa, and I'd say, I don't know if it's in all African homes, including Black Americans, to be specific, but majority of the Africans who've been raised, especially men, they have been raised to understand or to think that you're not supposed to be crying as a man, you're not supposed to show tears, emotions, you're just supposed to be, you know, all solid all the time. Like, you know, you're just supposed to be hard. I don't know how to put it. Like, you're supposed to be just a hard rock, just kicking in with life. But personally, I do believe as humans, including men, you're supposed to express your emotions, which is super, super amazing for your mental health, but not the topic of the day. I'm starting with this video of this lady talking about or singing about Ruto. Like I said, there's a one-time chant which has been going on since 2024, and that's exactly what she's singing, and I'm going to translate it very quickly as we start with today's conversation.
I
So she first started by saying, if I was a one-term, I would run back to Sugoi. Sugoi is where Ruto was born and comes from, in his village. So, of course, Ruto is a one-term president, meaning he's not coming back for a second term. So, if I was one term, I would run back to Sugoi. That's what she's saying.
I'll give back the fans I stole, and then I get a beating for it.
Oh my God. You gotta love this. This is funny and amazing. I love the fact she sang in English that even you guys can understand. Actually, if I was one term, I'll run back to Sugoi, and then I'll come back and get some beatings for it. Like, yeah, because you deserve that. And I think that's one of the conversations we've been having, especially throughout this week, since Wednesday, since last week. If you look at the spirit of Kenyans, Ruto is not coming back. Trust me, Ruto is not coming back. You guys watch. There's going to be so many young people, many elderly people, for those who want change in this country, they're going to be gotten rid of. But I said yesterday, it's a two-way traffic, or should I say it's a one-way traffic? But I believe this is a two-way traffic. It's either he kills majority of the citizen for him to stay in power, like what we've witnessed in Tanzania, Uganda, or it's either he runs away from the country. But let me restart this song and allow you guys to enjoy it, then we continue. Shit, this is amazing. I love this.
If I were one time, I would run to Sugoi. I'll give back the fans I stole, and then I get a beating for it. I'll jail myself first, then I go to my friends.
Also stole these funds together.
Oh, we stole money together and then jail all of us together. 'Cause I know we are thugs. If I were one time,
I love it.
if I were
I love it. I really love it. She has an amazing voice. Shout out to her. I really, really love it. If I was one term, I'll run back to Sugoi because I need to be held accountable for all the funds I've stolen, and then come back for the beating and then go back to my friends who we stole these funds together, and then we all go back home to the village. And that's literally the motion or the spirit of the citizens. If I actually go on TikTok, which I'm going to do after this video, and show you the spirit of Kenyans currently, especially the young youth. So we had the IEBC, which was launched, I think, in 2023 or early 2024, late 2024. We are in 2026. IEBC, let me see. IEBC was launched, I think, in 2024. I'm not even, before even me looking, I know it's 2024, 2025. So the moment we have the election body already being launched, and also, of course, the dates being set about the election for you guys to start registering and all that. Of course, you need trainers. You need to start training people who you need in this particular system to register people, because it's going to be hundreds of people flocking on your organization or your platform for them to come and sign, right? But what we've seen since the beginning of March is most of the young people, and this is going to be marking a history, like a video I shared some time back, and also people are talking about it. This is going to be marking a history of where we have the young people actually turning out to vote in majority. You're talking about millions of people, and this is literally for one motion. This is one matter, one motto: Ruto must go. And that's why you can see him being called out. If for those maybe who have bumped into the Kenyan news, maybe on TikTok, he's hijacking, like I said on Wednesday, the term Tukokadi, which means Tukokadi is where I have my voter's card and I want Ruto to go home. I'm not doing this actually for my, not for myself, not for my tribe. This is for Kenyans. This is where we want this guy to step down because he's hurting us as Kenyans. It's nothing to do with tribalism, nothing to do with what. And of course, having the media, shout out to the young people also understanding what the media is trying to do. The media and the people who are working under media are starting to propaganda, using terms like we're being funded. There's someone funding the young people to go and mobilize these IEBC registration places for them to get the voters card. This is, nobody's being funded. This is the same criteria and the bullshit, the words, the terms they used during the 2024 demonstration, when the young people and all the Kenyans literally joined hands tribelessly, oppositionlessly, just unity. Kenyans understanding what is about to hit us. They again interchanged everything and started saying, including Ruto, we're being funded by international companies. You don't know. I can't remember the name, but I remember he mentioned one of the companies. If I look it up, I know it's going to come up very quickly. He accused some international companies. He accused some opposition leaders for funding the demonstration, 2024 demonstration, which was all null, all lies, literally. Kenyans are tired. And this is how tired Kenyans are. So today, again, like I said, we woke up to some tension, or some people woke up in different places with tension. But of course, I could feel the tension personally, even by looking at this video. And not in a bad way, but in a good way, but also in a scary way, because 2027 election is about to be one of the major historic elections in Kenya. Leave alone 2007. Personally, I'm predicting this. I don't know, but I see it. And understanding the person we're dealing with as a president, Kenya is about to be hit or about to make history, either in revolution or election. Again, it's a two-way traffic. Whichever we decide to, whichever traffic we decide we're gonna go with, we have to go with that. It's either it's gonna be revolutionary wise, or it's gonna be us again having to accept Ruto back into this presidential seat. So waking up of today, we have the Linda Mwananchi. This is the current opposition, young opposition. Let me actually be very specific. This is the current young opposition leader who is not aspiring to be a president actually, but aspiring to be a governor. Is one of the senators in Kenya, and one of the senators who have been actually under the wing of the ODM party. If you don't know, the ODM party is the party that was led by Raila Odinga. Since the passing of Raila Odinga, like I've explained from the beginning, Ruto has bought out most of the people who are under Raila's wing party, or the Raila Odinga's party wing, right? And since that, we've had only, I think, a few people, I'd say probably 5 people, who have said that they're not going to be supporting Ruto. They're not going to be standing with what Ruto is doing to Kenyans. And one of the people actually is the most loved, young loved senators in the 254. And he's been standing, the term Linda Mwananchi means protect Kenyans, protect the citizens, which means literally, if you look at I believe it comes strongly with the police brutality, the presidential brutality, because there's no leadership under that. Presidential brutality, police brutality, judicial brutality, legislative brutality, because it's brought out all these bodies or arms of the government literally completely. So they don't even stand up for the citizens. So he came up with a party called Linda Mwananchi, which means protect the citizens literally at all cost. The citizens come first. And this actually motion has been pushing Kenyans, or wants Kenyans, Kenyans want this guy to be a president, but that's not the seat he's looking for. Bet that is not the seat he's looking for. But I love the spirit. So today he had actually a meeting at one of the houses in the 254 where there are political conversations held, which is called Ufungamano House. And the police were already set there by early in the morning, because I woke up at 8, and this was actually like at 6 a.m. in the morning. The police were already set on the ground of Ufungamano House for them to not allow the citizens or the Linda Mwananchi comrades to enter in that particular building. But look at the spirit of Kenyans.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and this is very aggressive approach. This is not that Keith talk of men, African men are weak. No, this I've not. I don't think I've had this kind of voice in a minute. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've had this kind of aggressive voice in a minute. I've had it in the youths, yes, but this, to be specific with this video, nah, they're ready for anything. And they're telling the police officers, we want you to shoot us. And we're going to show you exactly the numbers of Kenyans versus you. The spirit is on. And I love it here.
Taingia, piga, utapiga nani? Taingia, tutaingia. Sisi ni nani? Wawi, hapa ni wapi? Hapa ni wapi? Mwizi Ruto bwana. Mwizi Ruto. Bila babu dabu.
Yeah, so this was early in the morning. They're saying that things got a little bit tense at the Ufungamano house after the Linda Mwananchi function made a dramatic entry ahead of the People's NDC. The group linked to Edwin Sifuna pushed their way in, setting the tone for what's shaping up to be a high-stakes political shutdown. And of course, this is what we want. And shout out to the comment section, Nimbaya. Exactly, it's really bad. That means it's really bad in the 254. Like, that's a term I'd say very common in the street. When you just land in the 254, say Nimbaya, and you're going to be very much welcome. Nimbaya means like Ruto is not even ready for this generation. We're not our folks. That's something that these presidents, and I hope the rest of the African countries, and I'm praying, and I wish, praying is not even enough, but I wish, I send my vibration, my spirits, for the rest of the African countries to get the same spirit, like, yo, it's us. It's us. I don't even know how to express it. I just feel joy in my heart looking at this. I just feel so much joy when I see anything that looks like revolution in any country. Not even anything to do with Kenya, but any African country, to be specific. I always feel joy reporting it, because there's something about that spirit of the African youth. And personally, I love that. I love that adrenaline. Like, it's like you get high on it. Like, I don't know if it really makes sense, but it's really super amazing. Then someone also says, they can't stop the movement as much as they wish to. Sisi ndio Sifuna, exactly. And the term Sisi ndio Sifuna actually is being used because of the term Linda Mwananchi. Again, Linda Mwananchi means protect the citizens. And the citizens are saying also, we're gonna back Sifuna because we are Sifuna. We understand what these terms, this slogan, what it comes with. We need to be protected. If you look at the amount of bodies being retrieved in counties, different counties, the human trafficking, leave alone the human trafficking. If you look at the abductions that are happening openly in our eyes, people are really tired. And we're not going to tolerate this anymore. We're not going to tolerate that anymore. And also someone also says, whatever you do, make sure uko kadi, exactly. Whatever you do, ensure you have your voter's card. Someone also says, Ruto must go, Ruto must fall. That's another comment. And then another person also says, who is Ruto Bwana? And then, of course, who the hell does Ruto think he is? And this is what the citizens are asking him. You've been threatening the lives of the opposition, the Kenyans. But we as Kenyans, also being the majority, we're not going to allow this intimidation. This small intimidation of you telling us this and that and that, we're not going to allow it to keep on happening. And I really love it here. I'm not going to lie. I love the spirit of the Kenyans. But moving on, talking about Kenya, recently we had the 254, my country again, which actually banned the deal between Kenya and Russia, having Kenyans being recruited to the Russia-Ukraine war. If you have been following up, we've been talking about not just Kenyans, but many Africans have been applying or are being recruited for the Russia-Ukraine war and being put on the front line. And not only just being put on the front line to die fast, but also receiving some racist racial slurs and all that. But we have Zimbabwe, not following protocols. I wonder how they're following protocols of not allowing their healthcare data to be taken away from them, but they're taking their citizens to other countries. It's not making sense. Sometimes I really get confused by these African countries, the decisions they make. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Today we're standing here. Tomorrow we are standing here. How do we even go forward when we keep on going back to the same old tactics of the people who keep on oppressing us? Just a simple question. How do we actually fully free ourselves from slavery, from false independency, when we keep on going back to the same old tactics, the same old tactics? How do we even go forward? Because it is just recently, personally, I was so happy praising Zimbabwe, Zambia, and I think Senegal, one of the few countries, I'm going to be specific with Zambia and Zimbabwe, one of the few countries who refused to receive the millions of funds that America was offering for them in exchange of mineral resources, because that's what it was. Shout out to Zambia for literally putting it all out loud there. We had, of course, Botswana, which also said no. Yeah, we had Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Zambia. But it's crazy to see that this happened, and then Zambia, a few days later, received funds from the World Bank. I got that article also, I can pull it out. Zambia received a lot of funds from the World Bank, which also explains what I was talking about yesterday or on Wednesday, where we saw the US threatening them literally, and them having to give access to their mineral resources. And if they don't do that, of course, you know, there's gonna be sanctions and so much. So that happened, and now we're seeing Zimbabwe taking away their people from the country. Again, it's really, really confusing, and I think we don't understand what we're doing. And shout out to Ibrahim Traore and shout out to myself. I'll keep on going back to strategy. Before you do something, you need to have strategy. It's like quitting a job without having a backup plan. I always love putting it that simple, because the moment you're paying bills, you got people who maybe depend on you. You got things you gotta do. You can't just quit your job just like that, because you just can't. You need to have a backup plan, or you need to have another job the moment you're quitting this one, literally. That's what Africa, I feel like what we do. We say we don't want this, but we're ready for this. And when we go for this, it's not even yet enough to give us what we had. I don't know if it really makes sense. I don't want this, but I want this. And then when you go to this, there's conditions too, and conditions that actually you can't even put up with. It's super crazy. But yeah, they're saying that Zimbabwe says 15 of its nationals have been killed after, hey, I've been killed. Actually, listen, Zimbabwe says 15 of its nationals have been killed. Actually, not even, I think I read it wrong. I read it wrong earlier when I saw this article that they were sending. Shit. Okay, Zimbabwe says 15 of its nationals have been killed after being recruited to fight for Russia in its war with Ukraine, with more than 60 others still trapped on front lines. Information Minister Zemu Soda says that the recruits were lured by shadow agencies promising lucrative jobs abroad, using social media as their primary recruitment tool. The revelation has raised serious concerns over exploitation, human trafficking risks, and vulnerability of job seekers to deceptive overseers offers. This is super crazy. This is super crazy. So this actually gives you again a clear data of, it's not just Kenya, but many African people from other African countries have been applying for this job. You can imagine probably the number of Nigerians. God damn. You don't even want to process that thought. You don't even want to process that thought of how many numbers of Nigerians are actually like in Zimbabwe. It's super crazy. But we also have on this other end where we have Kenya, Bill Gates Foundation, which is looking forward to be launching Rada.
Singam. Kaching.
Ametoka?
Hapa nje.
Cool. As we continue, I'm really surprised. Sorry about that. I'm a bit distracted. Spikes is in the house. I don't know what's happening, but okay. We continue. Damn. All right. We have Bill Gates Foundation, which is supposed to be launching an 8-year contraceptive in Kenya. They're saying reports claiming the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation will launch an 8-year contraceptive in Kenya have been circulating online, and this claim suggests that a new long-term pregnancy prevention product is set for rollout in the country. Fact-checking shows this is false. While long-acting contraceptive like hormonal IDUs already exist, the foundation has officially announced such product specifically for Kenya. Why Kenya? That's the question. Why Kenya? And I think the answer is what Keith has been talking about, because Kenya, the awakening of the citizens is really, really crazy. Again, like I'm talking about the spirit of Kenyans. Kenyans are awakening super, super fast. We're tapping into information super quick. The moment we've seen a decision being made about our country, we quickly, so much invested on understanding what's functioning, what's not functioning, what's supposed to be affecting us, what's not affecting us. And they're saying that the Gates Foundation does fund research and innovations in family planning, but no new year 8 birth control devices being introduced there yet. So this is super, super crazy. And as we look at this, we also have on the other end where also the Bill Gates Foundation has been accused of also releasing bioengineered ticks. So we're going to be looking at this very quickly. I think I queued some videos on that to see the facts on this, and then I'm going to read the article. I'm a little bit phased on what's happening here.
To you today, I actually just want to read what I found out, because I'm not coping with okay, this is about Bill Gates and the Gates Foundation. So the Gates Foundation publishes annual reports. Family planning has its own line item, so it's separate from maternal health, vaccines, or nutrition. In 2022, they dedicated $241 million just to family planning. Their total budget for the Gates Foundation was $8.3 billion. In 2023, they dedicated $154 million just to family planning. In 2024, they dedicated $150 million just to family planning. Why does this matter? Family planning sits in the gender equality division. It's not folded into global health or global development. The foundation treats fertility management as a separate strategic priority with its own budgets and targets. In January 2026, the foundation announced $9 billion annual budget. It plans to spend the entire endowment by 2045. Bill Gates pledged roughly $100 billion of his remaining wealth. That sounds very generous.
Remember, we had Kenya receiving, let me pause this. We had Kenya receiving 200, I think, billion or million USD from the retirement of the Gates Foundation. And if you look at all this, again, this goes back to our food, our cows, majority our health, literally. And now we have the 8-year contraceptive, which is being pushed. And of course, where they smoke, there's fire. This is nothing to do with they're saying that the fact checking shows that this is false. There's nothing as false. I think actually they were supposed to be introducing a 10-year, if I can remember, was it an 8-year or 10-year? One of the two. They have either changed the years but they tried to push this. Last year I talked about it, and it's happening. It's happening. And now we're talking about literally bioengineered ticks. And they're saying, let me actually read the article before we get to continue. Bill Gates funded research into genetically engineered cattle sticks. Now 450,000 Americans have red meat allergies from alpha-gal syndrome caused by tick bites. Okay, caused by tick bites. U.S. man, and then the false reports, of course, because one of the things we are learning on this media training is we always have these organizations like the WHO always just pushing propaganda about African countries and diseases. Sub-Saharan countries are facing this kind of outbreak, so we need to go and rush there with this help of the VACC, INEs, and all that. That has been like a subject or a normal conversation when it comes to this, why people and these organizations they formed, right? So again, Bill Gates funded research into genetically engineered cattle ticks. Now 450,000 Americans have red meat allergies. I don't know how many of you do. How many of you on the chat have red meat allergies? I'd really like to know that. And the last time I checked, you guys don't even have real meat. But again, it goes back to how they like exaggerating information and pulling propaganda. They're saying that the U.S. man, there was a first U.S. guy who died with, of course, the red meat allergy. And then after that, we also had other reports from the biothicists, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, who want ticks to infect people to stop them from eating meat. And then we had more other reports from different sources and all that, which is super crazy. And then we go back to also remember in 2022, 2023, all these years we've been talking about how they want to push humans to start adapting into eating bugs. So you're also telling us for us to get treatment, we must be bug infected or we must be bitten by bugs for us to heal? Because I feel like that's what it's getting to. This is crazy, but follow the money again. They say, follow the money. Let's continue.
Funny if this is what you're doing with it. 2012 London Summit. On World Population Day, the Gates Foundation meets the UK government and they co-host the London Summit on Family Planning. Their goal is to get contraceptives to 120 million more women and girls in the world's poorest countries by 2020. 26 countries and private donors pledged $2.6 billion in total. The Gates Foundation alone pledged $560 million. Note the date, World Population Day, not International Women's Day. The framing is about demographic management, not women's rights. The target is 200,000 fewer women dying in pregnancy, 110 million fewer unattended pregnancies, 50 million fewer abortions, and 3 million fewer infant deaths. They're going to achieve those numbers with contraception, not with maternal health care, not with education, but with injectable contraceptives. Let's talk about something else that happened on that same day in 2012. That same day as they were having that summit, a special product deal was also announced between the Gates Foundation, Pfizer, USAID, the UK government, UNFPA, and PATH. This product, Cyanopress, was a reformulation of Pfizer's Depo-Provera.
And just today I was looking at you see these pills, these morning pills, the contraceptive morning pills have been classified as one of the carcinogens. Yeah, if I'm not wrong, they have been pronounced as one of the carcinogens, literally. Again, everything these people do is always out of nature. It's mind blowing, being honest. By the way, it's really mind blowing because I sat down and I was just like, personally, growing up, I've seen many women, many young ladies. They'd rather relay because we know the IUDs injection, the contraceptives are highly effective, highly with different effects on hormones and all that to women. So women actually mostly preferred using the pills. Personally, growing up, I've seen most of the women close to me, my aunties, my mom, my stepmom, like my friends, I've seen them using the pills, contraceptive, more than the injections and all that. Then I think when I got into my 20s, I started, of course, meeting ladies now who are talking about the different type of contraceptives, because I don't know why personally, of course, growing up, I think in Africa, not, I don't know why, but growing up in Africa, having sexual conversations, it's just like it's a big deal, you know? And these are things we're supposed to be taught from the word go. These are educations. And if you're given real Afrocentric education, this is why we go back to something I said 2 weeks ago. Originality, or let me see, what was it that the term I was using? There was a term I was using. Having organic supplements in Africa from the word go would have saved us from a whole lot of crap that we're today facing, or we're trying to cleanse or deal with, right? And with that, we'll not be dealing with what we're dealing with today. So when I got into my 20s, I started meeting ladies talking about contraceptives. That's why I knew about the coil, the IUDs. Of course, I knew about the pills, the P2 and the other monthly, whatever, the morning pills. Plan B, I think you guys call it Plan B. And then there's the morning contraceptives. So personally, I didn't know about the coil and the injectable IUD, and there's another one, the implant, which you put it on your hand. Personally, I'd say I tried the implant, and it didn't work well with me. I had put a 5-year implant, and it didn't cooperate well with my body, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna try to do this. Whoever I'm messing with, they're gonna have to understand the protocol. Like, I'm not trying to get pregnant, so understand the protocol of what you're supposed to be doing. That's just simple, because again, we're adults. Let's just be very honest. So the problem I really have with this is, again, you're looking at the evilness. That's how I'm the evilness. Because when I was reading this in the morning, I was like in the mind, and yet women think, including myself, I've not used the pills before, but I was forced to use the pills before, those exactly morning pills before, because of the 5-year contraceptive I'd put on my arm, which didn't work well with me. I was having constant bleeding. Every now and then I could find myself maybe bleeding. And then I had to go, of course, seek further medicational advice. But for you to reverse this and to stop this, you have to go back to the same thing causing the effect, which was not even making sense to me. It's like, so I have to rely on another contraceptive for me to be okay, which was crazy. And that's exactly most of the women also where they've been trapped in. You think that this is safer than this one. Now you see them introducing the 8-year one. Some people are going to be convinced this is better than the 5-year one, or the 10-year one, or the 2-year, the 3-year one, because there's a 2-year one, there's a 3 months injection, there's a 3-year inserted contraceptive, there's a 5-year inserted contraceptive, the IUDs, and then there's the 10 years. So they're bringing the 8-year one. So if you don't want to go for 10 years, you can go for 8 years. And then we have the coil, and then those other pills. So nah. The evilness, and it's also lack of understanding of our history and how we're supposed to rely on organic supplements, because they are really organic supplements that can prevent you from HIV, and not just even organic, but they make you even more fertile. Shout out to my stepmom. I think that's the most important one. She taught me. She showed me, and I was like, nah, I'm not trying to mess with this, because I was not really sexually active. So I was like, nah, I'm not trying to mess with this, because she told me once you start taking this and then you just mess one time, this is not giving you 73 hours, 74 hours for you to take a time. You're going to get pregnant immediately, because you become super, super fertile. It doesn't just protect you from pregnancy, but makes you super fertile. And I mean, African women are known to be fertile. So look at how organic things can even make you more fertile.
Injection contraceptive that prevents pregnancy for 3 months. Their initial target is 12 million doses of this Pfizer drug to roughly 3 million women in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. So Pfizer manufacture the drug and they receive a guaranteed price from the UK government. They keep the patent and the brand. PATH coordinates the fieldwork, the research, the country rollouts, and the training. They are a Seattle-based non-profit with revenue in 2021 exceeding $300 million. Half of that came from Foundation. The Gates Foundation is their biggest funder. CIFF, Children's Investment Fund.
But again, also they don't like saying, of course, who funds also the Gates Foundation, because it's not just backing itself. I mean, where did Bill Gates just come from? And I love the fact that even her title, or what she says, is follow the money. Again, follow the money. If you follow also the money from Bill Gates, of course, it's being funded by other people.
Foundation is run by hedge fund billionaire Chris Hone, and they co-fund the subsidy for this drug. UNFPA handles procurement and distribution. USAID provides US government co-funding. And the UK government is also co-funding this. In August 2023, they expand the partnership significantly. They have a new target, 320 million doses before 2030 in 92 countries, covering all low income, lower middle income.
92 countries, and bet 54 of them are African countries. 92 countries, bet 54 of them are African countries, the African continent as a whole. This is why we've seen this new push. If you, the fact that 2 weeks ago, to be specific, I was talking about consistently the push of America trying to push African countries to accept these funds they are giving in exchange of their resources, which goes all the way to, they're saying that the VSCCIN is to combat HIV and other unknown diseases. And talking about other unknown diseases, just earlier today, we saw that actually there's a new spreading disease. There's a newly spreading disease, not disease, but COVID, another spreading COVID. Let me share that very quick with you guys. There's a newly spreading COVID
I'm late.
infection. So this was, I was reading this in the morning, to saying that there's a new highly mutilated COVID variant called Cicada, and it's spreading through the US, detected in 25 states, easier to spread and invade immune system. So again, if you look at what we're sharing and them coming up with all this help in African countries, if the target is 92 countries by 2030, Africa being with 54 countries, that is the first that is the first target, of course. So Melinda Bill Gates
What happened?
Melinda Bill Gates Foundation is not here to help. Karibu sana, Keita, how are you doing today?
Auntie Sana, how you doing, Joby? You have a good night?
I had a great night. You?
That's what's up. That's what's up. I don't know to have a great night. Yeah, I had a decent night. I just as I got done with you, I just went to sleep. Shit.
Okay, yeah, me too. I got home, cooked, and I was knocked the hell out. That's it. I didn't get time to watch it, and then I remember I was looking at a meme which was saying, when someone asks you what are you doing after work, then me all the way knocked out. I'm sleeping. I don't got time to go out. I don't have that energy like the way I used to back then. Like I could go out after work. Nah, I'm not doing that.
Somebody tell you you're not 21 and 22 no more.
No, I'm not. So, hey, sadly for those who have the energy like Shimani to keep up, man. Or should I say proudly, those who have the energy.
I don't know if Shimani does it exactly. I don't know. Shimani's on drugs.
I don't want to be on those drugs because my body is not like, hey, I can't keep up with that energy. I can't be out every day. I can't do that, being honest. Yes, we're talking about the Bill Gates, where we just found us. We're talking about the Bill Gates Melinda Foundation. They're pushing, because that was last year. I did mention of them. They were pushing 8-year contraceptive in Kenya. And of course, they are coming out again, just the same way they try to defend themselves with the releasing of mosquitoes, which these mosquitoes are big. God damn. I've been killing mosquitoes in my house. It's crazy. They are big. Shit. I'm not capping. These mosquitoes are big.
Well, you got your window open or something? How these mosquitoes getting in there? You got your window open?
I don't even have my windows open, but mosquitoes are everywhere in Nairobi. People are talking about that. That's just the truth. Because again, we had the release of mosquitoes because we have a bio lab of
Okay.
genetically modified mosquitoes here as much as they're trying
Crazy.
to reduce. So
Mhm.
now they're putting the 8-year contraceptive in Kenya, which I mentioned last year, but now they're trying to clarify that this is a false information, but it's not a false information. And with Trump, I'm trying to share a video here of this lady talking about follow the money, because again, if you follow the money, you'll understand where these projects are coming from, why Bill Gates Melinda Foundation is being funded. This is not just Bill Gates Melinda Foundation, but a global project. She's talking about where there's again the target of vaccinations of certain diseases, certain pandemics that might come up, and 92 countries actually are targeted. So I'm saying actually out of these 92 countries, of course, Africa as a whole, bearing 54 countries, is one among the first target. And recently we've seen America funding and forcing other countries and putting sanctions on them if they don't accept this money.
Man, I'm getting sanctioned if I don't accept your money. It's crazy.
In exchange of resources, we've seen Zambia, Zimbabwe are refusing to accept this. But also, which
Of course, our people are not. Is he supposed to? Our people are not guinea pigs. Why would we accept it? Why would we accept this?
But it doesn't make sense still, because we saw, despite Zambia, Zimbabwe refusing this. I'm just from reporting Zimbabwe, they had sent their troops, not their troops, but some of the Zimbabwean people who had been recruited to Russia-Ukraine war have all been killed. And then apart from that,
this is what I'm telling you guys. I told you they were going to start using Africans for cannon fodder. I said, you guys are goofy. You don't know shit. You worship everybody that's not African. Oh, Russians out there. Russians are racist as fuck. Shout out to Demori over there knows that. I'm glad he's seen it with his own eyes. Instead of me telling you, you need to experience it. Told you this. But you go there, they're our buddies. They put your ass on the front line. You ain't getting no training. You getting blown the fuck up. It's crazy.
It is.
Africans like the mind of a child.
And then we had Zambia, which also accepted the World Bank funding. I can't remember I have it on my tab somewhere, but it accepted funds from the World Bank after refusing funds from America about the health, the climate change bullshit, and all that. So
that's exactly. That's stupid, because, like you said, that's one and the same. The World Bank is the United States. So exactly. I'm sure in that crooked shit. See, they might be doing that because because the people, the Africans are starting to wake up. No, they've been made guinea pigs. So it still might be in that World Bank loan that you're still going to do the same thing, but they know that people probably won't try to look at that and understand all they did was do a switcheroo. Instead of saying they called it the health thing and your people going to uprise, we're not nobody's guinea pigs no more and blah blah blah. All they did say, oh, okay, we're gonna fool these Negroes, their population, put it in this damn World Bank funding thing. It'd be the same shit.
Exactly. So we're talking about that, and then which got me to this video as we follow the money is that recently we also had the Bill Gates Foundation releasing bioengineered ticks. This is to help people with the red meat allergy to heal.
How you keep this shit sound crazy. How you keep releasing these damn fucking deadly ass genetic bugs to help people do shit? It's outside of nature. It's unnatural. So everything they tell you is a lie. It's actually to do damage. Nature knows how to do itself what it's supposed to do. Not some goofy nerd. Not some goofy nerd talking about they trying to help you fucking do something. They never helped you do anything but help you out your land and your money.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So I'm gonna continue.
It's crazy.
Continue.
And several upper middle income countries. This results in a 65% increase in Pfizer's manufacturing capacity. At 85 cents per dose across 320 million doses, Pfizer received roughly 272 million in revenue from this program before 2030. This is not charity. It's a strict.
Exactly. The bullshit. I love the fact she said this is not
Exactly.
charity. This is
No,
the bullshit.
never is. That's why you laugh until he's not a philanthropist. That's always a joke. And what they say, and with the Rockefellers and all them shit, we're philanthropists. Well, they making millions of dollars out of killing you. We're philanthropy. It's no philanthropy.
The bullshit
That's
they're
a
bringing
lie.
to Africans. This is charity. Why do we need
Yeah.
charity? When actually, we are the charity of the rest of the world. That is
Exactly. Exactly, Joe.
if we put words correct where they're supposed to be, Africa actually is the charity of the
Yep.
world.
See? But you know that. You know that.
This is crazy.
Structured market creation program. The foundation uses philanthropic capital to guarantee a commercial market for specific pharmaceutical companies in specific countries where that market would not otherwise exist. Because it's weird. Anyway, Gates Foundation Trust manages the foundation's $77.2 billion endowment. Previously, it held Pfizer shares, but in Q4 2023, it sold all of its Pfizer shares. The foundation's smaller direct portfolio holds BioNTech as top holding. BioNTech is Pfizer's partner on the COVID vaccine. The Gates Foundation is the WHO's second largest funder, behind only the US government.
The second largest WHO funder. No, actually, they're the same people. This is again where they don't tell us the truth. They don't want us to understand who actually is backing or funding all these organizations. Because how do we have all these organizations with money? Where is the money coming from? And if you go back to understanding that these people print money out of nothing, how do you just have all this money? How do you just have all this money to be helping poor people? We are fed up with this. And again, like I said, I love Kenya where it is as a people. Oh my God.
The US government gave the WHO $1.284 billion in 2022, and the Gates Foundation gave $689 million. That gives the
funded by the same person, funded by the same people, the Vanguard, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. Oh, we shouldn't say that loud, right? Okay.
foundation's significant influence over the WHO policy and guidance on contraceptive methods. Depo-Provera, the drug, the injectable that they're using in sub-Saharan Africa.
Sub-Saharan, do you hear? Sub-Saharan.
The drug existed decades before the Gates Foundation got involved. In 1981 in Zimbabwe, the newly independent government banned it. They said, the health minister at the time, I'm going to cry, this is so fucked up. The health minister in Zimbabwe said the application of Depo-Provera is racist because only black women are advised to try it. White.
Exactly. And recently we've been talking about some of the conversations we were having on that media training. I raised the concern about the sanitary towels that recently have been discovered in South Africa to be having chemicals that could lead or are causing sterilization. And not just that, we've seen these cases happening where, again, in the name of aid, in the name of charity, many African schools are being given bullshit because that's what it is. And then this causes to literally, it goes back to your health. It goes back to your health. And the target is women. And you have to ask why, like Kid says, oh, because we're the most, again, like I said, fertile people. I've just explained the whole thing. Like, we're the most fertile people. We are fertile, super fertile. And a good example, like I've said, is when my stepmom introduced me to an organic contraceptive drink, literally made of nothing but pure herbs. But I remember she gave me a warning. And even when you meet the Maasai community, because the Maasai community are the people who still rely on herbs in Kenya, Africa, wherever you're going to bump into them. The Maasai, I don't know how long they stretch, but Kenya, Tanzania, they believe in herbs so much. They'll warn you. I was told if you take this, Joby, not only are you going to become super fertile, ready for pregnancy, but you're going to become immediately pregnant. Okay, this is not just contraceptive to prevent you from pregnancy, but if you mess just within 2-3 hours, baby, you're pregnant. Okay, so again, makes you understand how they're targeting the African women. And if you look at there's an article I was reading yesterday of how they were banning the so-called witches in Africa, right? Which we know it's not witches, it's African women who are practicing spirituality. They understood the spirituality and they were termed as witches. Makes sense why, again, we are targeted. Because, again, women actually used to dominate so much back in the ancient times than what we're seeing today. We're living in a male-dominated society or system where they have actually made the women feel like we are inferior. So yes, you should be, I'd say a good example, not really a good example because I don't know if they tested it on the black men too, but we saw back in the history how they were using the black woman to experience pain, and they say that the black woman doesn't feel pain, and even performing cesarean sections on women because of black women or black people don't feel pain. And that is still even up to date. Not maybe in that manner, but men, this male dominating society, feel like they should be the respected one. The women should be at the bottom. You shouldn't be saying anything. There's a day I was going home and then someone talked to me crazy and I talked to them crazy back. And I told them, I'm going to scream a thief on you, and you being a man, you're going to be beaten to death. And I was very serious about that because they were talking crazy to me. Then moving ahead, there's this other guy. It was a Boda Boda guy. He told me, how dare you talk like that to a man? This is like 2 weeks ago. How dare you talk to a man like that? You think you're a woman enough? And I asked him, you think you're a man enough in today's society? Dare me, and I'll show you you're not a man enough. I'll show you actually women dominated this continent before you are even born. Before you are even born. So if you look at this, literally, again, it makes kind of sense in, I'd say, spiritual level, why they keep on targeting the women. As much as they're targeting Africans as a whole, the black woman is the most targeted in many things.
Women don't use it. They believe it's part of a plot by their former oppressors, and I agree with them. Women in Zimbabwe reported being coerced into injections under the threat of losing their jobs on white-run farms.
The same thing they did with COVID-19. If you don't take the VCCINEs, you're going to lose your jobs. Of course, fear works better. That's the weapon they have been using for so long. Fear as a weapon. Fear.
Injected without informed consent, being told their children wouldn't receive medical treatment unless they accepted this injection. In the 1970s in South Africa, Depo-Provera was administered overwhelmingly to black women as part of the apartheid government's population control. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission confirmed apartheid states' biological warfare programs included the use of reproductive technologies against black populations. Reports of women being injected without their consent in public health facilities continue as recently as 2018. It gets worse. Studies have found there is a 50% increased risk of HIV acquisition associated with Depo-Provera. A major concern because
Africa truly was built. Africa was a woman-dominated society for years. It wasn't the man, it was ruled by women. Mm-hmm. So that's actually true.
Men don't understand.
But they don't say that because because you came in with everybody else's religion showed up. The Christianity and the Islam that made everything male dominant. You guys went away from African science because you said it was wrong and evil, and women were evil, which is a lie, but that's what happened. And now you have men that disrespect women openly, but that was never the case because everybody understood and that the women were really the most important thing in life because women give life. Women are the default. Everybody knows that. Women are the default position in the universe. So everybody's a woman before they're a man. A man is nothing more, and this is just a fact, is nothing but a deformed woman. That's what a man is. He's a deformed woman, and so you know, um, that's why he's XY and she's XX. She has more chromosomes, so that means genetically she's the most superior, and that's why you target her first as far as trying to destroy society. You know, she's the mother of life. Destroy when you want to destroy our people, you destroy their women. That's why, as us and Black American, our Black women in America have really been destroyed. That's how you destroy our people. You go after their women, and so you're right. So you know, the disrespect of women Africans now become, like you said, on another level. Should not people talking to you crazy, and they're surprised that you're not afraid to talk to them back. You're supposed to just be subjugated and don't say anything. But that's not. You think you're big enough to talk to a man like that? Yeah. What are you talking about? Don't you got a mother, stupid? What are you talking about?
All right. Pardon? I was going to the washroom. I'm back. Yeah, exactly. That's what I told that guy.
Mhm.
I can talk to you like a man, and you're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna do anything. And I abused him. I abused him, and I told him do what you can do. I'm solo. You're like three of you, men. I'm alone. I'm not even working with anyone, and it's dark out here. So if you want to do anything, you can do anything. But I'm telling you, you can't
But
do
what
anything.
happened? What happened? How did it start? They start talking to you crazy. How? You just walking? We just walking home?
Yeah, I was just walking home. Then there's a place where I get my kills, like ready cut kills. Like there's this lady I just
Okay.
purchased my
Yeah.
stuff from. She always know my timing of coming to work. So I
Yeah.
just picked my kills and then was going home. Then just walking ahead, there's this guy who approaches me. He talks nasty sexually to me, of course. And I didn't like it. I'm not gonna use the terms he used, but I didn't like it. I'm like, huh. And I abused him. I'm like, your mom, okay? Your mother. Go tell that to your mother. And of course, if there's anything annoying in Africa is abusing anyone using their mother's term or tell them your mother. They get mad. So I was expecting him probably to follow me or anything, and he stood still because he knew was wrong by what he said. And because there were a lot of women also surrounding me there on that particular, it's just a small market. So moving ahead, because he kept on now throwing other slurs, but I kept quiet. I didn't respond to him. And the last word I said is, you better die by this night because I don't give a fuck. Like you better get knocked out by a load or something. Then moving ahead, I bumped into Boda Boda guys. There were like three of them. Then
Yeah.
one spoke. He's like, is that a man you're talking to like that? How dare you talk to a man like that? And I asked him, you think you're a man to be talking to me? Shut the fuck up. That's what I said. Hey, I asked him, you think you're a man to be talking to me? Shut the fuck up. I went back and looked at him and I told him, man, bro, I really feel pity for you because you're a poor ass, non-making money type of a person. That's why you 10 p.m. because it's almost 11 p.m. You bet you don't have money in your pockets and you're talking to me crazy. Like, you better get a life and come talk to me like a man. That's what you're gonna do. You're not a man, so shut the fuck up. And one of them laughed, and then the other one was like, lady, you're not supposed to be talking like that. And what you gonna do, both of you? There's nothing you're gonna do. You see, there's a man in front of you, and he kept quiet because he understands there's nothing wrong with me. But you two acting like women, it's like you're carrying some coochie between your legs. You're gonna keep on screaming. So let's go. I'm ready with it. And bet you me being a woman, and in today's society, I'll scream a thief. And you Boda people are being known of being thieves. You're gonna be beaten. So stop playing with me. Stop playing with me because this is working today. This is something I'm speaking about that is happening today. Boda guys are being beaten. The moment a lady screams thief on you, it's over. You're getting burnt with your Boda with your bike. So stop messing with women out here. Again, it goes back to the domination because also as women, we understand we dominate the society in different ways. As much as we're not given that hierarchy to be in certain places or to be in certain positions, still women are gonna be almost always the most favored people in the society. I don't know if it really makes sense. Like today I can come to America and I don't know if in America it can work, but you see, if a black man does anything crazy, specifically a black man, because I know a white man is not gonna work, I'm gonna be the victim as a black lady, you know. The black man might end up in jail today. If I come to America and I'm like, hey, he did this to me, and even if it's false, the police will not listen to that bullshit that the man is trying to say. And that's how it's actually, it's the system the way it's been set up. But at the same time, it's not the way it's supposed to be, because we were living in equality at some point. We were living in harmony, understanding, respect. But that has been completely lost. There's no respect between men and women in today's society. Literally. This is why you see even marriages cannot be, they can't go for long. Marriages, whatever, things are not working mostly amongst black people because of the white domination mindset, us wanting to be so westernized, and which is not even working for us. It's super crazy. But let me
I'm just
share the
using-
last video.
Of course, transmitted by mosquitoes. I brought some here so you could experience this. We'll let those roam around the auditorium a little bit. There's no reason only poor people should have the experience.
Bill Gates doesn't think of himself as some.
Yeah, but this is not safe for us as Africans. We need to, again, I don't know what funds, charity we need. Again, like I said, with the charity of the rest of the world, the fact that we've been exposed to diseases these people are creating in the name of helping us, it's really, really sad. It's really, really sad. And it gets even more sadder when we're seeing things like this even happening. We know the same people are the same people funding Bill Gates, the WHO, all these fake organization, NGOs that are in the sub-Saharan Africa, right? Yesterday I mentioned something to do with the mobile research lab truck from Israel, which arrived in Kenya to collect data for solution on farming and climate change. Very alarming, and we should be very alarmed. And the question should be, why Kenya first? Because I think we've seen also with the 8-year contraceptive, they are saying that this test is going to be happening in Kenya first, despite any other African country. And if you look at, again, the videos I've started with on my show with, the Kenyan spirit is rising and in a very commanding, demanding way. We're not playing with these regimes. We want Ruto gone. We want everything and the people is associated with, all of them to step down. We're not going to recycle. The motion of Kenyans right now is saying we're not going to recycle the same official members of parliament, senators, who, number one, either approve the financial bill or have been in any sort of corruption case, back into the system. And that's what we want. Again, we have to be the generation that either makes a change or we stay the same. The choice is upon us. But looking at this, we have the same for the first time, a cutting-edge mobile research lab from it's called the Weizmann Science Institute. Is collecting data in Africa, but starting with Kenya. Again, the contraceptive also starts in Kenya. This lab moves from place to place, helping scientists better to understand climate, soil, water, and how the environment is changing. It brings advanced technology directly to the field, helping find practical solutions for farming, climate change challenges, and sustainability. And I'm like, what is it that we don't know about our soil as Africans? What is it that we don't know about our Africans that we need white people to always come and give us clarifications? Where is our African science knowledge? How has it just been forgotten, lost, taken away from us? It's really not okay. It's not okay at all.
Has it been taken away? You got to start implementing again and take control of your own society. It's there. Nothing's been taken away. It's just that you've allowed something to be dominated by other people. It's still there.
It's not been taken away, but it's what I mean taken away is where we are adapting to what is being introduced to us.
Okay,
right?
yeah, of course. Yeah.
A good example is like shout out to the Kenyan lady who said we need to stop buying these fertilizers, the GMO seeds and all that. That is a good example of showing that there's been a number of people who have adapted to this system of relying on the same people who introduced you to these problems. And unless you actually say no to this, we're going to keep on being dependent on them. And that's what they want. Because talking about climate, soil, water, it's giving me Ivory Coast when we saw white people literally in Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, one of the two, showing Africans how to farm. Like, are you even?
Ivory Coast is Cote d'Ivoire. Same thing. One's is in English. English is called Ivory Coast. In French, it's Cote d'Ivoire. It's the same thing, Joe. It's different language.
I'd tell you those are two different countries. My bad.
It's the same. It's the same country, Joe. It's just one. Cote d'Ivoire is the Ivory Coast in French.
I would have argued $1,000 on it. Like shit, those are two different countries. Stop.
No.
It's crazy. But yeah, we need to go back to, because there's something this lady said. If you look at that, let me share this video of this lady. As much as she's talking on the wrong crowd again, but she's saying Africa, we're in a very critical condition. We are about to be hit with the worst economical, and especially because of I think if I understood that statement correctly or not, we are so dependent on the Western countries, the European nations, who produce nothing. We produce everything. And
Who wrote that? Somebody probably wrote that. Exactly. That's what makes it crazy. The mind control of Africa, they produce nothing. You produce everything, and all the money goes to them. It's absolutely insane.
Exactly. Yeah, so she's called Chief Ngozi Okongo. I bet she's a Nigerian, probably a Ghanaian, one of the two, but she's from the West Africa. I can tell. Says that the global trade order has irrevocably changed. One in the system is facing its worst disruption in 80 years. And of course, she's addressing the African leaders at this particular point and saying that the multilateral system will not return, as she calls countries to reform global trade. This is something we've been talking about where Africa.
She's talking about the war. It's about irrevocably. She's talking about it's been broken. Iran destroys your ass. Irrevocable. I can't get out. Irrevocable. Whatever. Shit. I can't even get the damn.
Struggles with the words.
So irrevocable, whatever. So she said it's done major damage. So she's saying, as African people, you should have been started to put the system together. If you trade amongst yourself, none of this stuff happening in the Middle East would even affect you. None of it, because you got all the oil you need. You just got to refine it into gas. Africa's everything. It doesn't need anything from anybody outside like everybody else does. All these other places need stuff from all over the world. Africa does it. But that's why Africa supplies shit to everybody. Okay? Africa doesn't need nothing from nobody. So it's been irrevocably. That's what irrevocably changed. Irrevocably. Damn. I'm doing ebonics. Irrevocably changed.
I don't think it's I also struggle with mentioning some words. I don't know. English is hard. It's great.
It's no secret that the world trading system is experiencing the worst disruptions in the past 80 years.
Of course.
But these disruptions are a symptom of the wider disruptions shaking the international order created after the Second World War.
Created by white people.
Repeat of the horrors of the first half of the 20th century. A fundamental break with the past. Three things are clear. First, the world order and the multilateral system we used to know has irrevocably changed.
Yep.
Second, we will not get it back. And third, we must look to the future. That means figuring out what worked well in the old order so we can keep it and build on it. It means figuring out what did not work well so we can repair it. And it also means identifying the gaps.
No, we can't repair shit. We don't need to repair anything. That's why I disagree. We need to build something of our own as a continent. I don't know. I don't understand if these people understand what we're dealing with. Because personally, I'm getting what we're dealing with. I'm seeing the future. We're the future, number one. Because all these resources that these people are fighting over about again, we are the most producing. Again, I'd say if you look at Iran, Russia, probably Africa combined, we produce more than Russia and the rest who have their own resources. If I'm not wrong, I stand corrected. If I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected. We are the target. We are next. We've seen deals being made left, right, and center for us to agree, for us to give away our resources. And if we don't, we're being sanctioned. So we can't keep on saying we need to repair this. No, we need to build something of our own. We need to stop working with Western nations. Africa, we need to work with ourselves. This makes me mad, man. Shout out to that lady. These people they all need to be captured for all the funds they have stolen, man.
In the renewed order we are shaping, so we can close them.
Nah, we need to irrevocably change our own system. That's the term I'd personally use. We need to irrevocably get rid of the current African Union. We need to get rid of the UN, especially in Africa. We need to get rid of the EU, the American embassy, all these non-African embassies in Africa, because they're all benefiting them. The fact that they're already here, they're already benefiting. They're not.
Iran getting rid of all the American embassies. All those gotta go. That's where all the spies at, of course. That's where all your spies are at.
We can't keep on doing this. We can't keep on dwelling on the same system of failure. It's a system of failure. It's not a system of moving ahead anyhow. With Trump, the loser, you want the loser to help you? Come on, you better do better. But as we get closer to winding up with today's conversation, we also have this amazing, a little bit of history that I bumped into, which was actually very interesting because I do relate with it. I was trying to find the channel of this guy, but I think they took it down because we know who we're dealing with. Anything that deals with African history and tells the truth about the ancient people, who is us, Black people, it's not going to be lasting long, of course, on YouTube or on most of these platforms that they control. So this guy is called the High Priest. I don't know how many of you, of course, know him. He did share a video of the powerful story about how the Native Americans helped protect enslaved Africans by hiding them in plain sight. And he explains actually how they did this. And I'm very familiar with that symbol of that lady on the screen, how she does it, because it's an African dance. This is an African sort of a dance.
Traditions, women are dominant. And if you look on my family's statue, you will see a woman dead center dancing while the man is kind of stepped to the side looking at her. This dance that you see us doing in Haiti, in Africa, where the ladies take their chest and they're starting to do this towards the men. Every man was born from a woman. So women like to show their dominance by doing that dance right there. And that's what she's doing in the statue.
Exactly. Because in Africa, the women were dominant. Exactly. That's old African society. These are facts. So when you got goofy men like Joby, they're growing up under colonialism and Arabism. When the Arabs came in, destroyed African society, and then the Europeans came in, destroyed African society. The women were always dominant in African society because the women are the beginning of everything. Yep. Okay? And that's why they went after women, call them witches, when they kill them, all crazy shit, so they can destroy your society, destroy who you are naturally, by giving you nothing but lies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you look down at the bottom of the statue, you will notice that the chains are not shackled to the slaves' feet. That because they had Sunday off and they're dancing on top of those chains. You look in the background of that statue, you'll see a Native American woman looking to the left. Just that spicy Native American revenge. You got to understand, this land belonged to the Homa Native Americans first. So when the Africans were out there dancing, here come a Native American person right beside that African slave. And you'll see them dancing together. Native American take off a headdress, throw it on that African slave, keep on dancing. Find another African slave, take off a shirt, throw it on that one, keep on dancing. Now you got all these Africans dressed as Native Americans. According to the law, the slaves got to be back at the slave cabins before the sunset. So as the sun was setting, the natives would be like, well, I see no Africans here. Come on, y'all, let's go. We're going home. We got to get out of here. And all these Africans dressed as natives, they walked away from slavery. I got to tell y'all, when I was reading that in the courthouse, I know the people was mad at me because I was in there going, ooh, wait, ooh, this tea is hot. In our tradition.
Yeah, so that's super, super amazing. And that's why I was saying that from the beginning. I love how not only the fact that we find humor globally as Black people, no matter where we are. I love the fact that we find humor, and it's not all Black people. Again, I'm gonna stand heavy on that because I've really met some cold ass people, like really cold. People don't know how to just relate with humor at all. Like they just like I'd give a good bad example. Like my dad, I don't think my dad understands humor at all. Like for real, my mom did understand humor, and just respectfully, there are people who are just like that, and the majority of the Black people that I've met or I've seen videos I've seen, people find humor in a lot. And apart from humor, we find ways of connecting, because a good example is me and Nish. Me and Nish look like we've been knowing each other for the last 50 years. I don't know. Every time we meet, he's just laughing, making stories, picking up from where we left. It's like we were just together yesterday. It's nothing new. And
It's your past.
yeah, that's just amazing. When you get to connect with people who you feel. Shout out to someone like, I think, Doja Cat. I don't know if you know Doja Cat. Doja Cat is Doja Cat, Keith?
Who?
Doja Cat.
You talking about that South African rap singer chick? Doja
Yeah,
Cat?
yeah, she was in South Africa, I think 2 weeks ago. She was performing in Rwanda, one of the concerts that was held in Rwanda. Then she went to South Africa, her homeland, where the dad comes from, and she was so amazed about the love she was receiving from the people, and then it kind of not really resonating with her, but resonate with many of the people, Black people, right? When you go somewhere and you receive that love in a place where you've never been, you just feel like you're at home, like yeah, welcome home. It just feels nice.
She never been there. I thought she was raised in South Africa. Was she raised in America or South Africa?
I think she was raised in America, because
America, yeah. I think so too. I think her family. Yeah, I think she was raised here, but she gets to
yeah,
talking crazy. I don't like her mixed ass.
yeah, because I remember the dad recently released a video. She said I think the mom is a Jew, so he was saying that don't go blame your Jewish mom for keeping you away from Africa and telling you lies about the African continent. That's why you're breaking down and you can't believe the love you're receiving, because people recognize you as South African first before you recognizing yourself as white and all that. So it's that's just it. It's crazy. But on the last conversation of the day, we have Ghana, which yesterday, but for the last few weeks or days, has been talking about wanting to recognize slave trade as one of the crime against humanity. And I think this is also being pushed by the UN. Let me kindly confirm if I queued that article and read it for you. I think we had the UN also saying that they're going to be accepting the UN. We had yesterday the UN, where the votes actually UN votes to declare transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. That is after we saw Ghana saying that they're going to be pushing for this. And they're saying that the measure was passed with 123 countries voting in favor, while United States, Israel, and Argentina voted against it.
Of course, Israel, but that kidney, Israel's your friend, moron.
Yeah.
But understand, guys, you got the FBA morons out here, man. Hey, stupid. They're not talking about slaves that were just given to in America, stupid. Those slaves didn't just go to America. They went to Jamaica, Haiti, fucking Barbados, Bermuda, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, Nicaragua, Panama. So they're not trying to steal your reparations, moron. Africans just didn't come here to the United States, stupid. They went to Canada, but everywhere. Oh, they're trying to steal my reparations. They're trying to steal your reparations more. He's talking about the global African trade, not just the motherfucking few Africans that got dropped off here in America. And you pretending, Negro, say you didn't come from Africa. So how can you be talking about trying to steal your reparations? You say you already Indians. What are you talking about? Talking crazy talk. This don't even concern you. He's talking about global Africans who were taken to all these places from Africa, end up in Brazil. There's more Africans who know that actually in Brazil they are in America, stupid, who was dropped off as slaves in Brazil, in Colombia, in Panama, in your girl, that goofy Nicki Minaj, in Trinidad and Tobago, in Suriname, in Guyana, in French Guiana, in Grenada, I can't name all them goofy islands, all the goofy islands in the Caribbean where Africans were taken, okay? The Caribbean people, they're talking about that, who came from Africa. Did they all come from Ghana? Of course not. But he's saying as an African thing. He's not saying came out of Ghana and they went just to America. He said came out of Africa. We know they came out of Senegal, Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Gabon, Cameroon, Angola, Congo, Republic of the Congo, and those areas right there, the majority. And you sweep around, we would throw Kenya and Mozambique in there, and some in Tanzania, but that was very few at that going this way. That other part of Africa was going towards the east when they were stealing people out. Like I showed Demore, stealing people out of Kenya and Tanzania, going up. Now they up in Turkey and Iraq and every place else.
It's crazy, but it's super crazy. But we're gonna be wrapping it up there. There's also a further of 52 countries abstained, including the United Kingdom and several European Union member states. So if I look at some of the countries that recognized, Kenya is one of them. I tried to look for Kenya here so hard yesterday. I was even zooming the countries that accepted. Kenya is one of the countries that recognized this. We also have Chad, Angola, Burundi, Burkina Faso, Brazil. Many African countries actually have agreed to this, that actually slave trade is one of the gravest crime against humanity. We're gonna see if this is going to be pushed, because I think this is not the first time. I hate the fact that every time we talk about this, there's nothing being pushed. They just talk about it,
Oh, they talk about, the white man ain't getting no money for it. You're not getting no money. The Jays who control it about Israel said no. Everybody forget the Jays controlled all of it. All of it. Slave, they own the slave boats. They own the slave plantations in every country. And they're funny, these fucking people of Jesus. I mean, they don't believe in Jesus. People of Jehovah, right? People of Jehovah. They don't believe in the Jesus shit. Jehovah, Yahweh. These are the people. Okay? These are people on the plantations in America, in Jamaica, in Haiti, in Dominica, in Puerto Rico, in the Bahamas, in Brazil, in Colombia, in Argentina. That's why they're going back in Argentina right now, trying to take it back over. The Jays. Yeah. These people own the boats, slaves, everything else. So they voted against it. You cats with your motherfucking ass, who's now in Kenya, said we want to be your friends. We're your friends. Even though we enslaved you niggas, we always were part of enslavement. We're the ones part of apartheid. You're not supposed to know these things.
It's crazy. But we're going to wrap it up there. So, first part of your day, we're going to see you, of course, in a few. We're coming back with the Everything Scoop Show. We're going to be discussing about one of the craziest videos, viral raping festivals in Nigeria. I've been wanting to talk about that this whole week, but since I'm the captain today, kindly tune in as we talk about that. On the chat, you can give your own opinion. It's crazy that we have in Nigeria a very backward mindset of thinking that you can hold a festival of raping women, and that day women are supposed to be staying indoors, not come out, because if you come out, you're going to be raped.
But you want to tell me about your culture, African culture?
I can imagine, man. I can imagine me walking in Kenya and I have to stay in the house the whole day because men are gonna be raping me. Man, with my dressing code, like with my type of dressing code, like how I dressed yesterday, I was waiting because I'd worn like a short dress. I was waiting for someone to tell me, you dare, and they know how to keep. They know they see me. They better keep quiet. You better. If you don't know me, then you just don't know me, because I'm gonna give you the work I'm not the one. I'm not the one. Much love. We're coming back in a few. Kindly tune in, and of course, come, let's have this discussion, and of course, what is happening in other countries, entertainment.
Not about your culture. Niggas want to tell me about your culture. You goofy African moron. My culture. My culture.
But much love, peace, family, and we out. Have yourselves a beautiful morning. We're coming back again in a few. So tune in.